Motion by Mr. Dahl, second by Mr. Colton. Any questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you. Number 4, appearance of interested citizens for any topic other than public hearing topics. Second call for appearance of interested citizens. Last call for appearance of interested citizens. Seeing none, we will move on. Number 5, notices, communications, announcements. 5A, special EDA meeting, 8 a.m. till noon, Saturday, February 7th, at Loken's Inn Conference Room. Strategic planning session. 5B, annual meeting, Rushford, Peterson Valley, Chamber of Commerce, Saturday, February 7th at American Legion Banquet Hall, 5:30 dinner, 6:30 program. Keynote speaker will be Benjamin Winchester, Research Fellow at Center for Community Vitality, University of Minnesota Extension. We'll move on to number 6, the consent agendas, the attachments for each. Questions or comments or anything on the consent agenda this time around?
Move to approve. Second.
Motion by Mr. Dahl, second by Mr. Culbertson. Any questions or comments or otherwise? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye. Aye.
All opposed? And the motion passes. Thank you. Move on to number 7. Public hearing, receiving public testimony regarding proposed changes in the structure and rates for the sewer and water utility systems. Mark Lundgren of MSA Professional Services will be present to provide history, background, options, and recommendations regarding the following. The proposed sewer rate increase is designed to cover wastewater operation and maintenance expenditures, provide for debt retirement, address capital outlay needs to meet new MPCA rulings, provide for future growth, as well as address existing shortfalls. The sewer rate structure was last amended in 2012. The proposed water rate changes includes the implementation of the DNR conservation rate rule, as well as addresses operating needs, capital improvement, debt service, and provides a more equitable rate configuration. Water rate fees have been increased periodically, but the water rate structure was last amended in 2004. Following close of the public hearing, the council will consider the adoption of the rate schedule as presented in the agenda item 8A and 8B below. And with that, I'll take a motion to...
Maybe can we wait just a little bit, because I think the notice in the paper said 7 o'clock. That the hearing would be at 7. So in case there's some people that are waiting, you know, a few more minutes, just in case.
We can move on to the other items.
Can we move on to the other items then? All right then. We can play with the computer for a little bit then, too. Maybe Dave can help.
You got a hammer?
Dave has a hammer.
Need hammer in the morning.
Yeah, if you can't fix it with a hammer, it's an electrical issue.
And you throw it in the water, right?
Right. Let's move on to 8C, consideration of taking action, completing appropriate documentation on the recommendation of the Economic Development Authority regarding several revolving loan fund issues requests. The following list represents the documentation that the 5-year term has been met. The first 75% forgivable installments, $100,000, has been applied, and the next installment, 2 of 5, of the 20% forgivable amount shall be forgiven within the remaining balance to be forgiven in equal installments until said balance is at 0, at which time the collateral assignment supplied to property affected may be removed. Got it? Thank you very much. The resolutions are as follows: 2015-001 through 008, affecting Rushford Foods, Taggart Land, Valley Vet, Roy Small Engine, Ace Communications, Hamel Equipment, Stumpy's Restaurant, D&D Car Wash, Denny and Shirley Dar. Does anybody have any questions on these items?
It's pretty much, just housekeeping
Yes.
issues, there's no concerns, no issues, no other information.
Nope, everything's tracking along good.
Okay. I will move that we approve resolutions 2015-001 through 008. Second.
Motion by Mr. Bunky, second by Mr. Dahl. Any other questions or comments? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Move on to 8D, consideration of approving the recommendation of the EDA to conduct a housing update study. This housing market needs analysis will help determine the potential for developing various types of owned and rented housing needs and identifying gaps. A grant request has been approved by the Minnesota Housing Partnership to help fund approximately one-half the project cost. 2 RFPs were reviewed: Viewpoint Consulting Group for $12,600 and Maxwell Research for $13,000. The attached staff report provides more detail with the recommendation to retain Maxwell Research given their long history with Rushford. Anything from staff?
Just background, Your Honor, as part of the redevelopment project for the school, we met with the Minnesota Housing Partnership. They offered the grant for us to apply for. They thought that we would be competitive. We were successful in receiving the grant. We also received a small $500 grant from the Community Foundation here as well, just to show further support from the community. We had letters of support from the school district, from the foundation, from Bluff Country HRA, and the EDA reviewed the RFPs that we sent out. We sent them out to send RFPs to 3 firms and had 2 responses. And although Viewpoint was a little bit less in cost, the EDA felt that sticking with Maxfield Research made sense for our community because they've been involved in several housing studies in Rushford over the past years. I spoke to Maxfield late last week. They still want to honor their bid because that was received a couple of months ago. We've just been waiting to hear back from the Housing Partnership to make sure that the grant was approved. The way the grant works is they will provide a little bit of money up front, but then they will pay the rest at the end. It still leaves a shortfall of about half because it's a 50-50 match. So the city would need to contribute about $5,000 to get the project done. Maxfield said that they'll have it finalized in September late spring, early summer, and we will use that information to help find developers who would take that project on. It'll also, we feel, will identify other housing needs for the community because we've got property up in the industrial park and there's other properties around that we may want to develop as well, and we can use this information to show developers that there's a market for housing.
They'll be examining all potential, more than just the survey that I remember sort of being the highlight in the past. Studies were sort of more focused on what was existing. Will this include some forward thinking, such as the school, other downtown areas and
Yes.